Okay. Are y'all still there? Or are y'all see if anyone joins in? I'm sorry about that. I don't know. I don't know what went on there. Well, it was on for an hour, so that's good. I don't know what. Well, my computer every once in a while does some kind of glitchy stuff, so I don't know if it's my computer or or the internet or both. Was anybody there? Yes, Sleepy Ange. I want some tea. I just read your comment, so hook me up. I don't know if that was my internet, Bridget, or if it was my computer. It does that every so often, like if I'm trying to upload just a regular video, even, or I don't know. I need a better computer, but I'm happy for the one I got. I'll just say I'm blessed to have it. So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I agree. We need to do down south or kind of sort of in betweener yarn uh, yarn fest or uh, whatever they're doing up there in Canada. Stitch Fest. That's it. I thought of the word. Whoo. My hubby, yeah, Stitch Fest. My hubby will watch my live on one of his breaks. He'll watch. Oh, I don't know when he gets. I don't know. He said he was going to join in if he was on break when I was still going. Then he asked me if I was going to be up all night doing a live and if I'd be awake when he came home for his lunch break. And I was like, no, because that's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I might be awake, but I won't be on. Yeah, Bridget, you and I'm so excited for your house. I'm so happy. When I saw your video, I couldn't wait to watch it because I already knew, you hinted around to it. So I was real excited for you. I can't wait when the new one gets done. Get to see it. I loved the y'all can't have a tour of my house right now because it's a mess. A partner that supports what we do. Yes. My hubby supports me, and I actually have started putting a link to his channel. Hi, April. You made it this time. I just came back on because, well, I went out for a while. Luke, Ange, I'm waiting on my tea. Of course, I'll be waiting a long time. Oh, and you should be getting something sometime soon, Ange. Will you please let me know? It's a card, but just let me know you got it. Okay. How are you doing, April? April. I just started watching her. She's only got a couple videos out, y'all, but support her. I think my next shout out Sunday is going to be for people with less than 500 subscribers. The last one was people that do a lot of lives. I couldn't keep it contained. I was so excited. Be near the end of the journey. It's been a year since we listed. That was the way I felt when we found a way to buy this house. It's nothing special. Um, but where we lived is where my mom passed away, so there was a lot of uh, there was a lot of Well, the memory of my mom, plus the landlady never fixed anything, and I was frustrated, and so I told him when we moved it was gonna be something we bought. Well, we were in too much of a hurry, but we're renting to own. So if we back out of it eventually, not that I want to, if we get the money, we'll fix it up. But yeah, there's a lot more wrong with it than I realized. But I was still happy to say that we were buying our own home. New video right now. Awesome, April. Cool. Well, y'all go check out April's. But yeah, April just started. And so yeah, thanks. I thought it was a good idea. Yes, it does make it special, Bridget, and we're gonna do some work on it. I've just been my surgery and I've been so sick that eventually we're gonna really, really um uh we're gonna do a lot of work to it, and hopefully it was born. I might have been up too late. It was made in the night. It was built. That's the word I was looking for. Built. See, I can't think of no words right now. It was built in the 1930s, and not a lot has been done to it. So, I like older houses. It just needs a lot of work. My dream, though, when LJ gets to retire, is y'all gonna think I'm crazy. I want to live in. Well, okay, April won't think I'm crazy. I want to live in an RV. Some of my pets are older, so we're not getting any new ones. So we should be down to one or two. And I want to live in an RV and travel. I have a dream to see all 50 states. I've been through quite a few of them because our house is 1930s as well. So you understand that, like, the this house needed a lot of work, and it does need a lot of work. Our house, I thought a small house would be a good idea, Bridget, because my twins were almost 18, and I thought, oh, not a bad idea, or actually they were 18, and so I thought, oh, they'd be moving out soon, and they're not, and that's okay. But I thought a 2-bedroom, I can turn the other bedroom into my craft room, because I need a craft room, because we all know if you craft that it takes up a lot of space. And I don't think they're moving out anytime soon, and that's okay. But we could have used a bigger house. We didn't put that thought into it, but yeah. Yeah, and the house that I was in, that's why I was like, we'll just buy it because we were doing most of the work on it. And so yeah, that was like kind of like, well, if the landlord isn't going to fix stuff, then yeah. So yeah, and it just we all the sheetrock eventually needs to be replaced because it's very brittle. It's the it's A lot of it's very, very old. So we've got a lot to do, but we just haven't done it since we moved in because it seems like one thing after another has come up. And I even tried to grow a garden in the backyard, and I got almost everything planted. And then my hernia, I ended up in the emergency room in terrible pain, and it was an inguinal hernia. And apparently, I had ripped that sucker good. Not sheet rock. It's the plaster stuff on the inside of the walls. And you see behind me, they had put paneling up. Well, they put paneling up because the sheet rock was crumbling. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. A 4-bedroom for 2 people. Yeah, once we got LJ's music stuff all in here and my craft stuff, and then of course my 2 kids and my pets, we realized we needed something bigger. Because LJ's got a couple guitars. He does music. And so yeah, I didn't say that quite right, Ange. It probably did sound like she-rock, but it's sheet rock, and it's the plaster stuff, and it's just really old and brittle. And there's a hole in the kitchen because of it. Like one of the dogs just leaned on it, and it crumbled. So we have a lot of work to do, and hopefully this summer he does lead guitar. Bridget, he does lead guitar, and he writes his own music and he plays the drums, and he can play bass, but he prefers lead. He wants to teach me to do bass. We'll see, because I like to crochet. No, and I love music, but I've never been one that was really great at. I wish I could have been. I wanted to be, but yeah. Figures I would have fallen in love with a musician like that would have ended up being like uh my Mr. Right, because I was in love with Slash from Guns N' Roses. That was, yeah. Him, Bret Michaels from Poison. Very cool. My husband used to play drums in a band when he was younger. Cool. Yeah, LJ, I thought he just played the drums when I first met him. Then I found out he played the guitar. He's trying to get a band together. He had one, and then he thought he had another one put together. Uh, my daughter's father played both lead and bass. I spend so much money on that stuff for him, money wasted that could have bought yarn. You know, I could say that, um, but LJ, if it came down to him buying music stuff or yarn for me, he would buy yarn for me. But I've been with exes that they were not musically inclined, and even if they were, they would have probably drank up the money for it. But um, uh, I've never had anyone put my needs or my wants above theirs, and so I love it that he's so good to me. But I understand that, because most of the time I was the one putting money into somebody or taking care of them. Some men really suck. Some people, because there's some deadbeat women out there too. And I'm not saying that because there's a man watching, because my husband knows how I feel about exes and stuff. But I don't think we have any men watching us anyway, or at least they haven't chimed in. Maybe they're scared. There's a lot of estrogen in this chat. Yeah, April. Uh, my I just have a real rocky past, and we were talking earlier about PTSD and stuff. And I have two exes that were terribly. They were physically and sexually abusive to me. So I'm glad the king puts you first, Bridget. That's good. LJ puts me first. And people make fun because he's 32 and I'm 48, but I've never been happier. And I've never met a man my age that was as responsible and loving as he is. And I've had control freaks too, Ange. Like, I had a couple of those, and then I've had the ones that just my my oldest daughter's dad, I think he was a sociopath. He would get off on hurting me, like that turned him on. He's a real sicko. And when she turned 18, I was so glad because it was over. Like, I wasn't with him that whole time, but till she was 18, he was paying child support. So, and he had rights to visit her, unfortunately. And so I still had to interact. I don't have to now. She does not choose to be a part of his life. And that's not, I didn't make it that way. He did. Good. I'm glad you have your soulmate, Ange. They are hard to find, April. Exactly, Bridget. Age is just a number. And I always liked older guys. So I'm not going to complain. My taste completely changed when I got with LJ. I didn't really like short dudes. I didn't date younger guys. It wasn't not a like a rule for me. It just was what I. But LJ's a good guy. He's had the same job for 13 years, ever since he graduated high school. In fact, he's worked for Walmart. A lot of people tell me you don't want someone that has bigger goals, and I'm like, someone that's had a job, the same job, especially for Walmart. That's all that matters to me, is they're consistent and reliable. So, and that to me, that's a big thing. And then when he quit drinking, he did it. He did it with my encouragement, but I didn't tell him he had to, because he wasn't mean or nothing when he drank. I just worried about his health, and I worried about, other things. I have been married for 43 years. He is my soulmate. He treats me like a piece of gold. Well, that's great, Karen. I'm glad. I'm glad. Like I just always found my dad always said I was still bringing home the strays because I always brought home stray animals when I was a kid. And apparently, I did that with men too. He does what he needs to. That's right, Bridget. You know, you don't have to have a fancy title. And he works hard. And then the drinking, he quit. Not because I told him to, because I was worried. And then I asked which Walmart. I'm sure Walmart does own it. Walmart owns a lot of things that no one knows about. But um, I but no, the drinking part, like I was talking about, his liver was starting to show signs already, and he was too young for that. And so his health was important to me. And then he promised my mom, this was his words on my mom's deathbed. He promised her he'd take care of me, and he said, if I'm drunk all the time, I can't take care of you. And plus, it was starting to interfere with his job. So, um, and yes, the perfect match is hard to find. Some of us have to keep matching till we finally find it. And some of us are just stubborn. Oh, there's nothing wrong with Walmart. I don't think there is either. Just I had a few. Well, okay, actually it was his friends that were like, we'd go hang out with them, and they'd be like, don't, because he doesn't even want to be management. LJ couldn't be management. He is not. You have to be stern, and he's not a stern person, and he just end up doing everybody's work. That's who LJ is. He's just a big sweetheart. And his friends were like, well, don't you at least want to be management? And don't you have goals to? I think he's perfect exactly how he is, and he's happy where he's at. When he's unhappy there, then I'll encourage him to look elsewhere. It does take a strong person, Bridget, and he's yeah. I kind of gush over him because I've just never had no one like him. And everything he does is to make sure that I'm okay. I had my surgery this summer, and when I came out of surgery, I apparently had an accident. I won't go into details. And I'd never had a man. So I get up and I realize I've had an accident, I guess, while I was under, I don't know. And to me, that was the nurse's job to clean me up. And I was like, oh man, ugh, gross. And she handed LJ a box of wipes because I was headed to the bathroom. And she said, here you go. And so I think that the nurse is behind me. I don't know what's going on because I'm still kind of groggy. Oh, he just became manager. That's cool, Karen. LJ just couldn't be manager. He doesn't have it in him. He's not stern. Like I said, you gotta be stern. But anyway, LJ was the one behind me, and I turn around. I'm like, oh, it's not like we're not husband and wife, but it still was kind of awkward for me because I was embarrassed that I'd had an accident, and I expected the nurse to be there, and I was like, and he was like, it's okay. I was like, did you tell her you would? He goes, no, she just handed it to me. And I was like, wow, well, I've never had a man that would have done that, at least not without making a face and complaining. And he cleaned me up. And then all the way home, because it was like a 4-hour drive from my surgery to home, he stopped frequently, checked on me, got me what I needed. So, yeah, covering drug addict. I'm so very proud of him. LJ sounds like a top guy. I'm proud of your brother too, because it, well, we were discussing the cigarettes. I can't imagine being addicted to anything harder than nicotine because I still, some days I smell cigarettes and I think they smell gross. And I'm like, ugh. And then there's days I smell it and I want a cigarette so bad. And so if there's other drugs out there that are worse than nicotine, those people that get clean are amazing to me. It was a sorry ass nurse, Bridget. I was pretty mad. So once I came out of the bathroom, I was a bee. I was a big bee. Um, oh, they smell gross, but Angie, because you still smoke, you probably all of a sudden one will smell really good to me, and I'm like, oh, I want that so bad. I I'll want it real, real bad. But like I said with my mom, after seeing my mom, that was hard for me. She had a BiPAP stuck to her face in the very end, at the very end, and but just so y'all know, if I end up with a terminal illness and I'm at the end, I'm trying a whole lot of things I never tried just for the fun of it. Because what's it gonna hurt? I ain't gonna live long enough to be addicted. That's what I tell everybody. I even asked my mom. She'd never even ever tried marijuana. I tried an edible for her, but it wasn't high enough potency to help her breathing. But I asked my mom if I was like, you wanna get stoned? That was 91. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah, nicotine, it's horrible. I'm kind of glad that they raised the age to 21, but it's still not going to stop people from smoking. Um, but yeah, I asked my mom, I was like, you want to get stoned? Just because, it's the end. She was on hospice and she was like, I can't smoke anything. I was like, you don't have to. And then I did try an edible for her and that didn't work. And then I got her CBD oil because someone said it's supposed to work. It didn't, but then now have a friend that has COPD that I went to visit her. It was after Christmas. She had been in the hospital for pneumonia. And I found out it has to be a really high dose of the CBD, and then it also has to have the THC in it to help breathing. 6 years ago, even had a full pack. I found them last year and tossed them out. Good, Bridget. I quit cold turkey when I was pregnant with my daughter, and I found out that the only thing, like, because I was smoking weed. Yeah, I believe that nicotine and heroin. They do compare that. They say it's bad, but I smoked weed when I got pregnant. I was smoking weed when I got pregnant with my daughter. I was drinking and I was smoking cigarettes. Well, I quit all three as soon as I found out I was pregnant. The only thing I craved that whole pregnancy. Okay, there was two things because I quit caffeine because that was when they were all on a big kick about caffeine is linked to ADHD, so I didn't drink any sodas or anything or coffee. Um, while I was pregnant with my oldest daughter. So, and there was only two things out of those four things that I craved: caffeine and cigarettes. Yeah, it has to have the THC, and I didn't know that. I even went and talked to them at the smoke shop, and of course, I didn't have a license, so I couldn't buy the stuff with the THC. And they said, "Oh no, this will work." Well, it has to be it was a 45, and it has to be a 75, and it has to have the THC in it. But now I know. Not that I hope that I ever have to be there for anybody else, but now I know that. And I would like to get my license, but on my medical license for my pain, um, and for my anxiety, because that's the only thing that's not narcotic that helps with my anxiety. And but at the same time, eh, I could say I'm happy being in my house, and so my anxiety doesn't affect me that much. But it's probably why I like being in my house. So maybe it does affect me because I have to force myself. Like tomorrow, I'll have to make if LJ's with me, I'm okay. But tomorrow he'll be sleeping, and I go to the doctor. I'll have to force myself to get out. I just don't like. I like going, and then when I do make a trip out of the house, I try to make it count, and I'll go and do my shopping. I believe that marijuana should be legal. And there's people who will disagree with me. Um, as long as you don't misuse it. Anxiety is really good. Take prega. What is that? And pregabalin. Is it something natural? Um, I'm all for marijuana used in the right ways. I was a stoner when I was younger, and I misused it. It can be misused, but anything can. No, it's meds. Well, I asked my doctor about it. Um, but anything can be abused. It kills me when people um put marijuana down. When honestly used the right way, it can help a lot of people. And they're like, "Oh, well, it's only because it's illegal that people have a problem with it." Because look how many people are addicted to pain meds now. That they've restricted, prescribing them because so many people are addicted and it's killing them. Yeah, I've not ever seen a specialist for my fibro, and my doctor doesn't know a lot about it. So I really think because it's been bothering me more and more, I'm not sure that that's not part of my head going numb kind of thing. Because me and Bridget talked about our hair hurting, and I know that I didn't realize that was part of my fibro until she said wearing a hat makes her hair hurt, and I was like, wow, somebody gets it. And so I have fibro, Bridget has fibro, Ange has fibro. Karen, I can't remember. Do you have fibromyalgia? Um, isn't that kind of weird? I do know. I will tell you if you have fibromyalgia to stay active because I took care of a lady in the nursing home before I ever knew what fibromyalgia was. Like she was diagnosed with it, but I'd never known anyone to have it. And she just went to bed. Um, she went to bed and because she hurt, she refused to get up, and her whole body was stiff. And they can't help me. Yeah, most doctors tell me they can't help me. Marijuana does help with it helps me relax, and it doesn't help with the nerve like weakness and stuff I have, but it does help with I think we all have a long list, Bridget. That's so weird s- that we would connect like and not know that about each other. Um I I s- I am bipolar. I have PTSD. I have major depressive disorder. I don't have as many manic episodes. And when I do have manic episodes, I'm not one of those people that think they can conquer the world. God, I wish I did. It's more of just an angry manic. Um, I had cervical cancer. Um, I have high blood pressure. I used to be a diabetic, but after my surgery, that went away. I have fibromyalgia, I have RA, give me pain pills, but can't take them because I'm allergic to them. Well, in April, you don't want to take pain meds. I mean, it'd be great because it helps with your pain, but it never took my pain away. The pain meds didn't. And I had an aunt addicted to pain meds. And since then have seen a lot of people addicted to hydrocodone, and it's scary. I think so too, Karen. Um, I use my crocheting as part of my coping mechanism. Like I'll take crocheting to the doctor tomorrow. So that way I have something to concentrate on and I don't pay attention to the people around me so much. Again, bodies have made us all grow other strengths. I think so too. And I think that people that um, have physical problems, I think are more compassionate. Well, okay, I'm more compassionate in some ways and I have less patience in others. I can't tolerate ugly. My cervical cancer um, had not progressed very far when they found it, Bridget, and I was at my biggest, and so he didn't want to do hysterectomy. He was worried about me having to be under and the in extent of the surgery because of my weight. It was going to take a lot longer, and then increased chance of infection and stuff because of my weight. So he actually burnt my whole cervix out. Like he said, he'd never burnt that much of someone's cervix out, but he was trying his best not to have to do a hysterectomy. And it worked. So I was thankful for that. But if it ever comes back, he said he'll have to do a hysterectomy. He doesn't want to take any chances because usually when it comes back even stronger. So I have psychotic disorder, anxiety, fibromyalgia, and arthritis, and other minor stuff. Um, I have my counselor says I have a personality disorder, not multiple personalities, but he says that comes from some stuff in my childhood that makes me more, how do you put it? More susceptible to predators as far as men that want to. So that's why I'm so glad I have my LJ because that's all I found was men that were predatory type. Started crocheting again to take my mind off my pain. I have a herniated disc. And a deteriorated disc. They can't operate until the spring because I have to take blood thinners for a blood clotting. Oh, when they found mine, I was 1 month from having a massive heart attack. As soon as my body could handle it, they took everything. Wow, that's that's crazy, Bridget. Yeah, that was part of the reason he didn't want to do a hysterectomy on me was because of my weight. And, I was on 3 blood pressure meds at the time. Yeah, Vero, I'm back. Yeah, my internet went wonky and I probably won't stay on much longer just because I don't want it to cut off again. But that's why I had a heart attack at 24. Mine was my blood pressure. I was on 3 different blood pressure meds because of my weight. And so with my blood pressure and then my blood sugar, um, they really didn't want to operate. He didn't want to do a hysterectomy unless he had to. And a lot of people were like, "Wow, he should have you're done having babies." But there was a good reason why he didn't do the hysterectomy. But I'm a very big advocate of people getting regular womanly checkups. Um, my dad, yeah, that is young, Bridget. My daddy was in his 30s, and I thought that was young, but 24 is young. Um, But yeah, I'm a big advocate of women getting their checkups and stuff because of my cervical cancer. But I had a friend that hers went so long it turned into uterine cancer, and they did a hysterectomy and stuff, and then she went into remission, and then it came back, and she wasn't alive, and she still had kids, young kids. I mean, it's sad when you lose a parent, even sadder when you're still in school, like little kid age. Hospital in ICU 2 different times in 3 years. Blood clots went to my lungs. Oh no, that's awful, April. I've not ever had a problem with blood clots. The closest I came was this hematoma that I had since my last surgery, and I'm really not even sure why that happened because I had never had that happen with a surgery before. Um, there is, oh wow. Second one, and a clot was found in my heart. Wow. That's awful, Bridget. My dad had congestive heart failure, and I think he'd had 5 heart attacks by the time he passed away. He'd had a lot, and there was only like 15% of his heart muscle left. They think it's genetic. Yeah, there's a lot of things they're learning now that they didn't know way back when. You wouldn't see 30 and you'll be 30. Well, amen. That's awesome, Bridget. Um, I'm glad that you're 38. I really didn't think I would make it to like 25, but that was because I was headed down a really bad road. And then at 26, I got pregnant with my oldest daughter. And I really don't think I'd be here with y'all because when my dad passed, I probably would have. I moved away from here for a while, for quite a long time actually, after I had my daughter. I moved away from here because I partied. Well, I moved away for one reason, but I'm glad I stayed away because all my stoner friends ended up on meth and stuff, and I'd have been right there with them because when my dad passed, I'd have took it real hard. And back then, I thought that was the answer, is to get high and drunk. And I'm glad she did too, April. I'm glad she proved him wrong. God's the one. I'm not like gonna shove religion down people's throat, but I do believe in God, and I believe God's the one that decides when we get to go, not a doctor. Yeah, my mom actually told me that, and it was I stayed the night in the hospital that Friday night because I knew something wasn't right. And that Saturday morning, she said, "I'm be with your daddy on Sunday." I was like, Sunday's tomorrow. And she goes, "Yep." And 4th of July is her birthday. And on that, her last birthday, she said, "This will be my last birthday." And she was right. And she called it. She passed that Sunday. And I was mad at first because I still wanted my mom. But I realized that God gave her what she wanted because she could have suffered a lot. She was sick for a long time, sicker than she let us know, but it could have gotten worse. God let her go. And that's what she wanted. She said she had lived her life. And so, yep. And I believe she saw angels. A lot of people think I'm crazy, but she started smiling all of a sudden. And I was like, "What, mom?" She goes, "I see faces." And I was like, "Faces?" I didn't get it. I was like, "Faces." And they say, "Yeah." She said, "Yeah, faces." And I was like, "Is it dad?" "No." "Is it someone you know?" "No." I said, "Is it happy faces?" She said, "Yeah." And I said, "It's the angels, mom." My mom wouldn't use a bedpan either, April. Like, she couldn't get up to get all the way to the bathroom, so she insisted on a bedside. Now, she was ready to go, but she wasn't not about to use a bedpan in the last days. Like, yeah. And now my mom's my angel. So when I see angels or someone sends me something with angels, I always think of my mama because she was nothing like me. She was a super sweet lady. Like, she was always doing something nice for somebody. And if you ever heard her say hell, shit, or damn, then you knew something was bad and you better run because she never said anything worse than that, never came out of her mouth. And those three were the worst words she ever said. The brain starts to shut down when the time is close. Yeah, her CO2 level was so high in the hospital they couldn't believe she was actually what do you call it? Coherent. And then in the end, she was her words because I was like, "Mom, do you want your morphine?" And she said, "I'm waiting for Kirby," which is my oldest niece, to come pray with me. And Kirby, sure enough, she went and prayed with her and got up in the bed and sang, "You Are My Sunshine." And then a little while after that, mom was non-responsive. And so then we just had to wait, because she was gone. Um, and it, yeah, my mama prayed for me. Karen, my mama's probably the only reason I'm still here. All the prayers she said. She always told me I was like my daddy. I was the most like my daddy. My mouth and just how stubborn I can be. And then in the hospital, I let the nurses know they were going to treat my mama right. Like, I didn't put up with no doo doo. And I let them know that. I'm going to make some of y'all moderators. Okay, she said to click on your photo. That didn't work. Maybe you were here. Let's see. Remove, put use, no, add moderator. Okay. So is it okay if I make some of y'all some moderators? Not because we got any weirdos, but you never know. You'll still be a moderator the next time. Some drops in his eyes the day he died. I know for a fact that he wouldn't have died had these drops not been given to him that day. Yeah. My mom, I would not have given my mom the morphine, Beto, because I do know that it sometimes speeds it up, except for she was ready to go. And if she lived, she was on the way out. And so she wasn't going to have quality of life. Okay. But, yeah, I am all I am very picky when it comes to, like, my dad. See, my dad had a DNR, and we talked about how his, my mom was my best friend, and I miss her very much. She was my very best friend. I'm way more like my dad, but my mom was my very best friend. But my dad, um, it's the drop thing. I had a niece that had trisomy 18, which, if you don't know what that is, it's Edward syndrome, and it's a chromosomal disorder like Down syndrome. And she lived to be a year and a half. My sister would take her to the hospital because she had breathing problems, she had heart problems. And one doctor even just flat out told the nurses that my niece was a DNR, and she was not. And my sister got mad because I think doctors sometimes decide when it should be over for you, and they have no right. So I'm not going to say that you're wrong about those drops in the eyes and stuff. And the morphine, I knew it was probably going to um, make my mom's breathing less, but it that was the best for her. I wanted her to have no pain, and she was not going to come back from it, at all. She was no. And my dad's DNR, they tried to get my mom to override it, and she said no, because he said it when he was did it when he was of science, sound mind and body, and it wasn't about them. They actually wanted to save him just to suffer from his heart longer. Put them in his eyes, and he was completely awake. Oh wow, that's weird that your family. Okay, I think I made everybody that's in here a moderator, and that way, the next time we go live, not that I'm not big enough for trolls to want to mess with, and I don't think they'd mess with any of us anyway. And I'm sorry, Vero. I'm sorry. My mom, I gave her the morphine in liquid form under her tongue. My sisters didn't want me to, and I wouldn't have, except for I asked her. Okay, she died on a Sunday, and that Saturday night, she was hurting real bad. And so I wanted to know what she wanted. I wanted to do what she asked. And I asked her, I said, Mom, even after you can't ask for the morphine, do you want me to still give it to you? Because I wanted to do her exact wishes. And she said, yes, Neva, help me go. Well, I wouldn't help it, but I knew what she meant. She didn't want to be in pain. And so, but I asked her while she could still answer me. And then my sisters, once she became non-responsive, my sisters didn't want me to keep giving it to her. It was liquid. I could put it under her tongue and suction the liquid, and we'd hear his lungs gurgle. So at that point, I was to give him the drops. Yeah, Vero. The nurse told me I could give it to her, the morphine to her under her tongue, but my sisters didn't want me to. So when they left, because they left me alone with my daughter and my niece-in-law, so I did. I'm sorry, Karen. My mom had to make that decision for my grandma. So my mom made that decision for us because she said that was one of the hardest things she ever had to do. Yeah, see, that's not cool, Vero. Um, I'm so sorry. And the morphine, it was just that she was already gone. Like Bridget said, the mind, she couldn't even. I believe the BiPAP was helping her stay alive. Once we took the BiPAP off, she was gone real fast. So And I'm sorry, Karen. I am glad that neither one of my parents left me with that decision because my mom said that was one of the hardest things she ever had to do. So I feel for you. Um, my grandma just refused to sign a DNR. They asked her to, and she wouldn't. So both my parents made sure they had one. So that, and they still ask you though, because they wanted my mom to override my dad's DNR, but she wouldn't, because she said if he comes back from this, if you get rid of the infection, he's going to be mad because all he's done is suffer for 2 years at every hospital. I do too, Bridget. I always make sure that, yeah, because I don't want no one to have to make that decision for me. Oh wow, Vero. Like, see, I've never heard of anything like that. Like, I do know there's stuff you can do, especially if they're on hospice. My mama was on hospice. But once she got home, there wasn't any, like, it was the weekend, so the pharmacy wasn't open, and, they had, and they, she had her pain meds and stuff for anxiety, um, but by the time Monday hit, of course, she was gone, so I can imagine how that haunts you. Because watching my mom's last breath, I sometimes still, yeah. Right, or I would be sorry when she if I'd overrode my mom's, because the doctor wanted me, she had quit eating and drinking for 3 days before she died, and if I'd overrode it, because the doctor wanted to give her, nutrition IV through the IV, and I said, "I'm not gonna you don't have to deal with her afterwards," and I said, "She knows what she's doing, and I'm so sorry, Vero." Like, that's horrible. Like, with my parents, like, it was just it happened natural. They both had morphine and stuff, but it wasn't a I can imagine. I understand now when you talk about I know now why, it hurts you anyway, but I can imagine you're not just hurt and sad for your dad, but you're angry, and anger can eat away at you, so and I don't blame you for being angry, I would've been too. I, I'm a little I have a little anger, so I understand. I have some anger about some things, so I get it. And when it's family, it's that much harder because they're family, and yeah. It's not like I've cut a lot of people out of my life, and you can cut family out of your life, but I think it's worse when it's family. So, but yeah, my mom was my best friend, and then my dad. Tomorrow's his birthday. Well, it's 12:06 here, so happy birthday, Daddy! It's my dad's birthday today, and his birthday was January 7th, and then he passed on the 15th of '99. So today's my dad's birthday. Still miss that crazy old man. I agree, Bridget. I don't have well, in case y'all don't know, my kids are mixed. And, not that that's something I should advertise, but I have some family that, made some racist comments, and it wasn't even towards Black people, but it was just racist, and I didn't realize that they, felt that way to that extent, I guess. Yes, happy birthday. And, I've kind of I don't really talk to them that much anymore. Uh, it it wouldn't have really mattered. Well, see, and LJ's Hispanic, and then my girls are half Black. And I don't see color, and I was never raised to see color. My daddy grew up poor white trash, and He just was one of these people you didn't judge a book by its cover, so I was never raised to be that way. Apparently, as a family that feels differently, and, yeah, and I grew up in a racist town, so, once I got away from those people, I stayed away from I don't I have, like, one friend left from where I grew up, like, close friends, and, when my I rea I can love my family from afar. Let's just say that. I don't have to associate with them because my kids are beautiful to me, and it's not my sisters or nothing. My sisters have never ever treated, my kids any different, and if anything, they were even more to try to stick up for them, so we all bleed the same we do, and my dad just was one of these people that if you said if you call somebody a name, here was his deal, there's enough words to call people because he did call them stuff that you don't have to use racial slurs. I grew up that a lot of words were cuss words in my house that weren't cuss words in other people's houses, and they weren't cuss words you think of, they were racist slurs. That was a bad word to my dad. Of course, I couldn't cuss when I was young, but no, my dad would blurt out every cuss word in the world, but he didn't believe in using racial slurs. Yeah, I don't understand people either that are racist, and I've even had some people say some ignorant things to me. And then when people tell me that racism doesn't still exist, it's usually white people. And I'm not saying that to be mean because I'm white, but it's usually white people, and they apparently don't have mixed children. Because there are some still, and it goes in every race has racist people, but I have to deal with it more from white people about my children. 7 Up family, that's cute, Karen. I like that. But my girls are, I there wouldn't be a lot of reasons why I cut family out of my life, but my kids are one of them. I didn't think that, yeah. Um, New Mexico, it's not so much towards Hispanic people because there's a lot of Hispanic people here, but my girls have been called some awful things. And the people I grew up with, called me a lot of bad names. And even when I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, I had people calling her names before she was ever born. Like, who does that to an innocent fetus, a baby that hasn't even breathed its first breath of air? Like, that's terrible. And it was men that I'd grown up hanging out with their kids. And I was like, and my dad was mad. My dad was the crazy man who carried a shotgun and would shoot you. Yeah, that was my dad. Um, Cop gunned down an unarmed old man, then led him back. Then I knew the race issues were still very much. Yeah, I don't think people realize until they've witnessed it or gone through it. Um, I got kind of some funny remarks because people think LJ's white. And when he went to Missouri with me, my family was like, "Oh, you're Hispanic?" And then they had a lot of weird questions for him, and I was like, "That's strange." But it's more with my kids than it is with LJ. But we're here in New Mexico, and so um, and I believe that, Bridget. I always taught my girls that to be respectful and to be more aware of their color when they deal with the law. And that probably sounds horrible. Um, I didn't ever teach them to be afraid of police officers because there are good ones, but I told them to be more aware and for them to be extra respectful. Um, Whereas they might not think that they're being, I just told them always, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. go above and beyond to be respectful because there are people out there who just because they're not white will automatically think they're in the wrong. So I don't understand that at all. I don't understand how people can be that way. And like I said, I wasn't raised that way. But we moved to a very, very, very small town when I was like, well, I started going to school there when I was in seventh grade and moved there when I was in 10th grade. Yep. Look straight ahead and use short answers. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. And don't reach for nothing. But I grew up in a tiny town that I'd never been raised to be racist, but they were very, and I wasn't used to that. I didn't want to stay there. My dad moved there for certain reasons, and then when I got pregnant with my daughter, that was when he was real sick, and I was staying with him. And he decided since he was on his way out that he didn't want to spend his last days there, so we moved to where I live now, which is where my oldest daughter's dad is from. So, but yeah, um, but my that's just who my dad was. He didn't put up with that stuff, and I don't think it ever. He never interact with people a lot. And then when he's sick and couldn't work, he was at home. And then he heard what people were saying about his grandchild and made him real mad. He'd have gone out in a blaze of glory and took all those racist sons of guns out if would have let him. Yeah, that was my dad. He'd have played some cowboy stuff. Well, Vero, I think Vero left us. Vero, I'm sorry about your dad, and I'm sorry if you got sad. I miss my dad. He'd have been, let's see, he was 58 when he passed, and he passed in 99. So he'd have been 79, I think like 79 today. Wow. My mom was 70 when she passed. My dad was a good guy, but he was crazy, and he's where I get my crazy from, Bridget. That's for sure. I didn't have no. Okay, good, Vero. Um, I hope you're okay. Because I know when you miss somebody, when you get to thinking about things, it hurts. My dad was a good guy, but he was real crazy. I didn't have any. I had one boyfriend in high school, and then I still wasn't allowed to do hardly anything, and no one other than him would ask me out because my dad was known to chase people down with shotguns. So yeah, that's my daddy. Hair scrunchies. You know, I made quite a few because I don't know how to make those sachet scarves. Yes, I'm here too, Vero. If you ever want to vent. Well, we texted the other day, but if you, I'm not a big talker on the phone, but if any of you ever need to talk, um, you don't have to film Vero, but if you ever want to, I may not say a lot while you're on the phone, but if you want to just vomit out all that ugly, I understand, Vero, and I'm not gonna. You see, I almost busted into tears, and I don't know. I had somebody go on. I watched a video one day, and it's talking about why not just be happy, and I thought, well, you can't ever like. I don't know. I made my channel promising myself I'd be real because I can't be like I'm like you, Vero. I can't be fake. And so if people don't like me emotional, then they don't have to watch me. So, but I'm not gonna go up there and try to be that either. Not even ring in days. I don't text or call anyone but the king. My YouTube friends are my own. Well, see, Bridget, now I need your number so I can text you because I'll harass you. Ask Vero. I message her out of the blue and see if she's doing okay. I'm not a big talker on the phone, but like I said, I'll listen. If you just want to get on the phone and cry, Vero, it's okay. Go in the bathroom where your kids can't and just cry, and I'll listen to you cry on the phone. Because you know what? Sometimes that's what I do. I don't get on the phone and cry, but I sit in my room and I cry, especially when LJ goes to work because he always wants to, he thinks that if I'm crying, then he has to fix something, and there's no. You guys know. They can it's good to know that they love you, but they can't fix what's wrong. So I try to cry when he's not home. Oh, your YouTube, well, I'd say y'all aren't my only friends, but Priscilla left us. She must have fallen asleep. And that girl, she's the one I called a raccoon. She's up all night. Yes, a lot of times it's great too. Aw, well, good. I'm glad I'm one of them, Beto. Um, yes, and it is good to cry. And I did edit out part of one of my videos. The very end, I got real because my feelings had been hurt. I did edit that out, but that's because it was an ugly cry. I don't like it when I ugly cry. I don't want no one to see me. My kids make fun of me because I ugly cried on Christmas. Something came up about my mom or something. No, it was Thanksgiving. And I think my nephew brought up my mom. I don't know. Oh no, my brother-in-law was talking about my mom and I started ugly crying. And and they laughed at me and I was like, well, thanks. Thanks for your sympathy. No, there's no fixing your memory, Bridget. I've figured out mine's kaput. Every once in a while, like if I think, I don't know, Veto's just been on my heart. So I texted her. Maybe because I know how she feels about her dad being gone. And it's so close to, well, my dad's birthday today and then the anniversary of his death. I believe that crying um, helps clean the soul. Oh, you ladies know that I'm here for you. Oh, thank you, Karen. See, now I've got to get Bridget's number because I have Karen's number and I have Veto's. I've never heard anyone pretty cry. Well, okay, there's no pretty cry, but you know that one where you make that real ugly face? Real ugly. Well, yeah. Oh, see, Bridget, mine is just, I don't know why my, actually, okay, I don't know for sure why my memory's so bad, but they say bipolar people, okay, cool, Bridget. They say that bipolar people, if they're, I went on medication for a long time. They say when your brain synapses, I think that's the word for them, are going off, it affects the memory part of your brain. Well, just so you know, now you got a word for it, ugly cry. And I can let a few tears fall, but when I get to crying, it's not pretty and I won't do it. And Ange, I feel bad, Ange, because I don't think we can text you in the UK. I don't know. I don't know how that works. See, in April, I'll have to share her number with me too. That way I can just hit all you up. I cry like that all the time. Well, I do too, except for like usually like I can get like I did a minute ago about my dad's birthday and I can kind of, but man, if I don't get a hold on it, that's when the ugly cry starts and no one wants to see that. My heart is on my sleeve. I cry so easy. I do too. And that's why I just decided that I was either going to be real on my video or I was not going to do videos. And since menopause started, oh my God, I cry about everything. Like the weirdest things make me cry. Oh, you don't have a phone. Well then, Ange, I'll just start messaging you even more on Instagram and Facebook. Um, but yeah, menopause like hit my made me even more so that I cry about all kinds of stuff. Yeah, me too, Karen. Even if it's a happy cry, it's an ugly cry. Like I'm happy but crying at the same time, and yeah. Um, yeah, but menopause hit me hard. I cry over stuff. Never thought I was in it. I have a friend that has always cried over sad movies and stuff, and I just wasn't that person. I was like, it's not even real life. Why are we crying? You know what I mean? Like, and then menopause hit, and I get it. I cry over commercials. I cry. I watch some people's YouTube videos and cry. Um, I'm even more emotional and sentimental, and night sweats have started the menopause. Yeah, night sweats. I guess it kind of started last winter, and I didn't realize it. Like it'd be the middle of December, and it was cold out. All of a sudden, I was real hot, and I wanted ice water. And I'd tell Jay, "On your way home for break, please bring me ice water." He was like, "What?" I go, "Packed full of ice." He's like, "Okay." Little girl singing like Janis Joplin, and I was bawling. See, I can't watch Facebook sometimes, guys. I can't look at Facebook because there's stuff that pops up. So a song, my cousin posted a song, that song, "Singing in the Sky." Oh, I can't remember, by Danny, I think is her name. And she posted it because my cousin's wife died recently. And that song gets me every time. I'll cry like a baby. Became girly since my hysterectomy. So what did you think of us? Yeah, that's me too, April. Except for that, like with me and LJ. Okay, so have y'all watched the movie Coco? Um, hot flashes, bad temper, and a hairy chin. Oh, amen to that. And yeah, the bad temper. My husband, I already had one, and then it got worse, and the hairy chin. Yeah, but if y'all watched the movie Coco, this is before menopause had really hit. We watch it. I didn't cry. It was also before my mom died. I want to point out because now I'll probably cry. The yeah, I've got a few that I need to find my tweezers. But the movie Coco, if you haven't watched it, it's a Disney movie, but it's very good. Well, me and LJ watched it together, and he cried. And so, like, it's a good movie in it, Vettel. But once your kid binge watches something after a while, I have a few movies I can't watch anymore because my kids watched it way too much when they were little. But so he cried, and I'm just sitting there, and I look over, and I was like, "Are you crying?" He's like, "Maybe." And I was like, "You're crying." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm crying, all right." So, like, he's always been the more sentimental, emotional. He's probably gonna hate me for saying that. And, I just couldn't believe he's crying. Yeah, well, now I watch Coco and bawl like a baby. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of the movies my kids watched over and there was quite a few of them. One of them, my oldest daughter loved James and the Giant Peach. I can't watch that movie to this day. It annoys the crap out of me. And one of the twins had a huge thing for the buddy movies, the ones with the dogs. And so I'm not a big fan of those anymore either. I love Coco. I love it. But I didn't cry that first time and he sure did. And I was like, "Are you crying?" I just couldn't believe he was crying. Lion King. That won't make me cry. I can't watch that one. I'm glad my kids were never stuck on watching it because it makes me cry every time. Toy Story, yeah, that was one that was watched often. Toy Story, Lion King, James and the Giant Peach was Rihanna's thing. Lizzie loved the Buddy movies. Few Disney movies. I'm trying to think of which ones they really watched a lot. Hercules. That was one they ran into the ground for me, and I was like, "Yay!" My nephew watched Jurassic Park over and over and over, and what other one? Oh, and then all of the Land Before Time movies. My nephew was fascinated with dinosaurs. All the words in every Disney movie made before. Me too, Bridget. Me too. And my girls still, the twins will belt out Disney songs like nothing. I I'm not one that I can there's only certain movies that I can watch more than a few times. The Notebook is one of them, but I cry every time. Queen. Have y'all seen Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie, talking about Queen. That movie made me cry. We went and saw it in the theaters, and I really loved it, so we got it on DVD. But yeah, The Notebook is one of my favorites. I cry on Bambi. Bambi makes me cry. It made me ink. Yeah, I love that. Um, Bohemian Rhapsody, Ange, is a good movie. And then The Notebook is one of my all-time favorites. The Notebook, P.S. I Love You, and Fried Green Tomatoes. All three of them make me cry, but they're my favorites. Every day and never get sick of it. I've not watched it, Bridget. Now I'm gonna have to look it up. Oh. Well, Bohemian Rhapsody is an amazing movie. It's very good. And the end, I cried. I was in the theater. LJ was surprised, but that was when menopause had hit pretty good because I usually won't cry in public, like unless it's just something that really hits me that's uncontrollable. OMG, what, Beto? What I do? It makes me cry too. P.S. I love you. Gerard Butler's hot in that movie, but yes, but it makes me cry every time. But that one, The Notebook. Okay, Beto, I gotta know why you said OMG because what I do, cry like a baby every time. Yeah, but I love that movie. Yeah, The Notebook. I at the end gets me every time. I own The Notebook. P.S. I love you. See, that's why we get along. Yep, those are good movies. That one, and then Fried Green Tomatoes was one of my mom's favorites. And so that one and The Notebook were two of my mom's favorites. And me and her watched them quite often together. We do love the same kind of movies. That's pretty cool. See, we need to meet halfway between you and me and just have a girls' day. Someday, when I hit the lottery, I'll pay for both of us to just meet in the middle. Or I'll hit the lottery and take all of us to Stitch Fest. How cool would that be? And marijuana is legal in Canada. It's getting y'all. Kind of, sort of. We do love the same movies. P.S. I Love You just gets me, and Gerard Butler's pretty hot in that movie. I don't like him in all movies, but that one he gets me. I just always and I really like Hilary Swank. I love her. I loved her the most in have y'all watched Million Dollar Baby? I loved her the most in that movie, I think. That one and P.S. I Love You are my two favorite movies that she's in. Million Dollar Baby, I didn't think I'd like it because I'm not I like Clint Eastwood, but I'm not a huge fan of his. And I saw the movie, it was a good movie. Or we can plan and all meet somewhere. That's true. We could all try to plan and meet somewhere. And I know that Tammy's not in the chat anymore, but Tammy rides bikes, and so does Bridget. You do too, don't you? So see, someday I'm gonna have a trike. We're gonna all get together. I think it would be cool to all meet. I think Vero and I live closer. I live closer to Vero than I do anybody else, I think. Vero is in Texas. Planning on taking long bike rides afterward. That would be cool, Bridget. That's my thing is I want to have an RV and I want a trike when he retires. Yeah, it was good, huh, April? Club meeting Saturday. See, I thought I remembered that you. I have a cousin, him and his wife. They're probably the only ones that still talk too much. Um, they ride bikes, and she took me for. Well, she took me for a short ride on her trike the first time I went to Missouri, and then I don't think it wasn't the last time I went, but then another time I went, she took me for a really long ride, and oh my, I fell in love. I loved it. It was just so. It felt so free. April, I live in New Mexico, Clovis, New Mexico. You're getting married on the bike? Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is really cool, actually. Indiana for April. She's from Wisconsin, but she lives in South Carolina. Oh, well, Karen, watch Million Dollar Baby. It's a good movie. It does sound like fun, huh, Vero? Me and my husband, we're gonna get married on the Day of the Dead because I just like all the sugar skulls and stuff. Springfield, Ohio, Ipswich, England, spending the winter in Florida. Smart girl. Watch Million Dollar Baby. Well, you need to watch it, Beto. If you like those other movies, you'll like it. It's a good movie. Um, but we were gonna get married on the Day of the Dead because I love sugar skulls, as does Bridget and a few other people. And okay, we had plans for our wedding, and that didn't happen. We got married. My friend got ordained so that we could get married while my mom was still alive. But I think we're gonna do something like not spectacular, but something more of what we wanted to do with more family and stuff eventually someday. Biker wedding, very cool. I've never been to a biker wedding, so now I have um a goal to go to Bridget's. November 3rd. Well, we were getting married November 2nd. That was our plan. My mom hurried it up a little, but that's okay because I got what I wanted, which was for my mom to be there. So no big deal. But that was our deal because I really love sugar skulls and stuff. And so, yeah, that was our plans. I like sugar skulls, but love a plain skull better. Think that's my wicked side. I like plain skulls too. I just love skulls, but I have a thing for sugar skulls as far as like, I thought that would be really okay. I was just trying to make his mom a little mad too because she's real traditional. And I thought, how cool would it be to decorate with sugar skulls and stuff like, you know what I mean? Because I love skulls. So, and to get married on the Day of the Dead would be even more reason to decorate with sugar skulls. And I don't care for his mom, and she's real traditional, Catholic traditional kind of thing. And that was against a lot of what she wanted. But she still didn't get what she wanted because we didn't get married in the church because I wanted my mom to be there. Wow, y'all have been married 3 times, Karen? Well, I've been married 3 times, but not to the same guy. I would love to see you get married. That would be awesome. See, we need to get you up to 1,000 subscribers by the time you get married. And that way, someone can go live on your YouTube and we can all watch it while it's happening. Yeah, could you tell Ange that my yeah. I have a bunch of cushions behind me, but it's been bothering me anyway. Is a hug skull. Got lots of skull deco in his house. Cool. I love I like skulls. So it's probably my wicked side too. Karen is like my grandmother, then she has married to the same man for 60 years plus. Yeah, I couldn't find one that stuck till this time, and I told him it's till death do us part, no matter how one of us had to die. And I meant it. My first marriage, my first husband was he was 19 and I was 24, so that's the only other younger guy I've been with. And I think maybe that's why I didn't date younger after that, because he was very immature, even though he was only, what, 5 years younger than me. Wow. Your grandma was older than your grandpa. I'm 16 years older than LJ, and he always like refers to. I graduated in '89, and some about '89 will come up, and he was like, "I was 2 years old," and I'm like, "And I was graduating high school." Anyway, so wow, that's pretty cool, Beto. See, I'll just tell you that's a omen that it's gonna be forever. Well, and like I said, till death does one of us part. But my first husband was a lot younger and just immature and well, a thug. I thought I liked thugs back then. I thought that was a cool thing. He was a thug and was not ready to be married, that's for sure. You'll have to tell me about your dress, Bridget. That's cool. And then my second husband, that's a whole long story, but he was addicted to crack, and he chose crack over us. So, wow, your grandma lived a long life. Yes, what kind of dress, Bridget and Vero? That's pretty awesome. I have to go. Anna's lost her school trousers, and it's 7:38. Bye, Ange. Thank you for joining. I know you're not. You're more of a night person, you tell me. So, and it's early morning for her, guys. It's in front of God. Second time was in front of a preacher, and then the third was just a renewal. Yeah, our first one is not. We didn't do the paperwork because we didn't have time. But I consider us married. Like, so. Bye, Ange. I'll message you later, okay? But we're gonna do it probably in front of the preacher, make it legal sooner or later. But in my heart, we're married, so it doesn't matter. Yes, Bridget, come on. What kind of dress? I wish you could pop a picture in there. Have a good day, Ange. Short in the front, long in the back, showing off the rack. Good idea. I don't have a racklet since I lost weight. It all just kind of sat down. But anyway, that sounds pretty and perfect for the bike. You're right. I had like the perfect kind of dark and twisted dress picked for my wedding. It was a new black and teal. My daughter's wedding dress was like that, Bridget. Good biker dress. It sounds like it. I was gonna wear black and teal and the whole veil, or I was gonna do the whole Day of the Dead thing. And I wanted to paint my face like a sugar skull. Partly to make his mom mad, and partly because I thought it'd be cool. But like I said, we didn't get to do that. It was a rushed. We did it in front of my mom, and as far as I'm concerned, we said our vows. But like I said, his mom's a real big Catholic, and they need to go. Well, mine did get bariatric surgery. They'll disappear. Almost everybody I know that had bariatric surgery because you lose so fast. You lose there really, like first. That and my butt. I have no butt and no boobs left. Show the. That's right. Show it loud and proud because I still wish I had one and a butt. I ain't got no cushion either way. But I'd rather that than be as big as I used to be because I was very unhealthy. Still not healthy, but I'm better than I was. So I really like that you guys got in my chat. And I'm kind of glad it wasn't a huge one. I don't know how Tracy keeps up with hers. I don't know how all those people that get like, I like it small. This was fun, guys. It really was. And now I know. I'm thinking about going, um, you can have some of my butt. I used to think I had too much butt, and then when I lost my butt, I was like, there's a purpose for that. And it's so that you don't get so uncomfortable. Yeah, my boobs have grown back a little bit since I gained weight. But yeah, I was up to like a close to a triple D. And then I got between a B and a C. I was probably closer to a B when I lost all my weight. And then I think they're back to about a C. And that's okay if they weren't so. I'm thinking Thursday. Let's see, Thursday. There was a reason I was gonna go live Thursday. Thirsty Thursday. I don't know. I might go live Thursday because LJ goes back to work Thursday. But it was a lot of fun, guys. And thank you because that meant a lot to me. And thank you for not like if I sucked telling me on here because I'd have probably cried in front of all of you. Um, couldn't sit in the tub without crying. My bone hit the tub. My butt was Bridget. That happened to me too, I used to plop into the tub. Like, that's just what I did because I was bigger, and, wow, I can see. Um, I used to flop into the tub because I was bigger and there's lots of cushion, you know? And then the first time I did that to take a nice hot bath and soak, I bruised my butt knuckle. That's what I called it because it hurt like the dickens. I really thought I cracked that sucker. It was bad. Well, thank you for telling me I did great. And yeah, Vero, that's you gotta have back problems, honey girl. That's my booty. It went away. Like I said, I had problems with in the bathtub. I sure did. I bruised my. That's what I ran telling people. I think I broke my butt knuckle, and they didn't know what I was talking about, but I knew. It was fun. We're gonna have to do it again for reals. Like Thirsty Thursday, if I still drank, I would just do shots with y'all. But I don't drink anymore, so y'all might not want to see that. I'm glad Priscilla joined us. I'm gonna try to talk her into doing video, but her and I are gonna do a video together, and so y'all can meet her. And and I bet they do hurt. I had a friend that had, I don't know what size she had, but she had a lot of back problems. She can share with everyone. Well, I have a stomach flap. I call it my mud flap. Martha the mud flap. Y'all can laugh at me if you want, but it's my stomach flap from where I lost weight and it hangs. But when I gained weight, that's about the only place I gained it. And so my back hurts a lot. Keep the stitch markers. I feel the same. Next time send me some butt and keep Mm. Oh, I remember what I was gonna mention to y'all before I go, Darla. Oh, so Thursday, I think Thursday, Thirsty Thursday, I'm gonna do Confessions of a Yarn Addict because I said something in one of my videos about don't crochet and drive. And then I admitted to Darla in our little comments that sometimes I wish I could take my crocheting into the bathroom and crochet while I'm going to the bathroom. And so she confessed some stuff. So I think Thursday is going to turn into Thirsty Thursday slash Confessions of a Yarn Addict because I would love to know how much other people think about crocheting. I dream. I dreamt of making a baby Yoda before everybody started making them. So yeah. Um. So there you go. Thirsty Thursday slash Confections of a Yarn Addict, because I know most of us are. Okay, well, I've gone on for another hour and a half, and so I'm gonna let y'all go because my back is hurting. Ange was right, and I need to get comfortable because I have a doctor's appointment, which it's not early in the morning, but I have to psych myself out to get there, and it's almost 1 o'clock here. And if I don't get enough sleep, I'm gonna convince myself not to go, and I really should go tomorrow. So good night, guys. This was a lot of fun, and thank you. This meant a lot to me that y'all came, because I'm not gonna say I have favorites, but I have favorites, and y'all were here, so I appreciated it. Good night, and stay manic, y'all.